Most people over 65 believe a comforting story about long life after 80. They believe it as mostly genetics, or luck, or that once you reach a certain age, the rest is out of your hands. But what if the real reason most seniors don't live long after 80 has been quietly forming for decades and almost no one talks about it honestly? From the very first moment you hear this, there's a gap in the story. Something important is missing. And until you see it, the future looks far more random than it really is. Here's the first clue. According to U.S. Census data, the number of Americans reaching 80 has grown rapidly, yet the percentage who live well beyond it has barely moved. Life expectancy rises, but health span does not. That contradiction alone should make you uneasy. Why are more people arriving at 80, but fewer thriving after it? To understand why, science forces us to rewind far earlier than most people expect. The origins of this issue begin in early adulthood. In the 20s and 30s, the body is resilient. Poor sleep, stress, skipped meals, and long sitting hours don't feel dangerous. Cause: the nervous system and metabolism compensate. Effect: people learn the wrong lesson that consequences are distant. Long-term studies like the Framingham Heart Study showed that cardiovascular damage, insulin resistance, and bone density loss often begin silently before age 35, even in people who feel healthy. Then the 40s arrive, and changes start quietly. Muscle mass declines about 1% per year after age 40 if not challenged. The CDC reports that nearly 70% of Americans in their 40s fail to meet basic strength activity guidelines. Cause: less movement, more routine. Effect: the body adapts downward, blood sugar rises slightly. Balance worsens almost invisibly. Most people don't notice because the decline is gradual and hidden by busyness. This is where the first real secret appears. Aging science shifted in the 1990s when researchers like Dr. Luigi Ferrucci at the National Institute on Aging began separating lifespan from functional ability. They discovered that how you age after 70 is largely determined by how much reserve you built before it. That reserve is physical, cognitive, and social. The shift after 70 is the moment most people ignore. External structure disappears, jobs end, social circles shrink. A National Institute on Aging survey found that adults over 70 experience the sharpest drop in daily variability, the number of different activities they engage in each day. Cause: fewer demands. Effect: the brain and body receive fewer signals to adapt. This is where the four reasons quietly converge, though they're rarely named directly. The breaking point is when the problem becomes visible. A fall that came out of nowhere, a hospital stay that takes months to recover from. A spouse passes, and the survivor's health declines rapidly. Medicare data shows that one hospitalization after age 75 doubles the risk of functional decline within a year. The body didn't suddenly fail, it ran out of buffer. The fallout spreads quickly, health costs rise, independence shrinks, lifestyle narrows. Financial strain appears as assisted care becomes necessary. According to AARP, nearly 80% of seniors who lose independence after 80 never fully regain it. Cause leads to effect, again and again. So, what are the four reasons most seniors can't live long after 80? First is loss of muscle and strength, not disease. Sarcopenia affects up to 50% of adults over 80, and it predicts mortality more strongly than heart disease. Second is isolation. Harvard's long-running adult development study shows that social disconnection is as damaging as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Third is metabolic instability, blood sugar swings, inflammation, and poor sleep, often labeled as normal aging, but proven not to be. Fourth is lack of purpose. Studies from Rush University found that seniors with a clear sense of purpose lived up to 7 years longer on average. Here's the cruel twist. Seniors often try to fix these problems using advice that's decades old. They walk slowly instead of building strength. They rest more instead of recovering actively. They wait for motivation instead of designing structure. These failed fixes feel safe, but safety without challenge accelerates decline. Link this to today, and the pattern becomes unavoidable. Across millions of seniors in the United States, the same timeline repeats. Early habits shape midlife capacity. Midlife capacity determines post-70 resilience. Post-70 resilience decides whether 80 is a milestone or a ceiling. The suspenseful truth is this: nothing magical happens at 80. No biological switch flips. What changes is whether your systems can still respond to stress. When they can't, life shortens not suddenly, but predictably. So what can you do right now, even after 60? First, build strength before comfort. To short strength sessions per week reduce mortality risk by over 20% in older adults, according to NIH data. Second, protect daily structure. Fix wake times, meals, and social touch points stabilize the nervous system and slow cognitive decline. Third, choose a role that requires you. Volunteering, mentoring, caregiving. Purpose isn't emotional decoration, it's biological fuel. Here's one clear warning backed by evidence. Prolonged inactivity after 70 accelerates decline faster than most chronic diseases. And here's the open thought to leave you unsettled in a good way. If the difference between a short life and a long one after 80 ain't luck, but preparation, what are you still postponing? If this helped you see aging differently, please like and share it with someone who needs to hear it now. Subscribe for the next chapter, because next, we'll uncover the single habit that quietly determines whether seniors decline slowly or stay powerful far longer than expected.